Hey, what's up, guys? This is Nick Roddick. Welcome to the House of Seven Horns for the inaugural episode of Ranking the Albums. This week I'm doing the albums of Danzig, not including the Black Arias or Danzig Sings Elvis, Lost Skeletons, as great as those are. But one one I will throw up as a honorable mention is the Lost Tracks of Danzig. If you have not gotten this one or heard it, check it out. These are all tracks that were cut or omitted from albums, and they're pretty damn good. The inner liner notes have reasons and tidbits about the songs, why they were cut, whether they just didn't fit the aesthetic of the album and all that. I got into Danzig probably the same way a lot of people did. Not through the Misfits, but through the song Mother. Probably around the year 2000, 2001, when I was in junior high. Just heard it on the radio late at night, and it sounded like nothing I'd ever heard before. Just a great message in the song and all that, and that iconic, powerful voice. And then so I set out to uh, find that album, pick up as much as I could from this guy. And unfortunately, my local record store, when I went in there, all they had were Black Aria and Black Acid Devil. And if you've heard those albums, you can understand the letdown. If you're a kid looking for the song Mother, and those are the two albums. I didn't know what the song was called at the time, so I was just this was back, 2000. So um, just some trial and error. And not that, Black Aria is, it's a really cool listen. Black Acid Devil has grown on me a bit since then. We'll get to that as well. So, starting with the lower end, number 10, I'm going with Black Laden Crown. Of all the Danzig albums, even the ones with really shitty production or just, the performances aren't quite there, this one is the only one I feel it just doesn't feel inspired. Nothing really nothing clicks on it. Nothing stands out. There's a few good tracks. I'd probably start with Pull the Sun, Skulls and Daisies. I think this album more than anything else suffers from, I think, a slow tempo. And I think the majority of the tracks, if not all, are just a really slow grading tempo. And the hooks, those classic Danzig hooks, just aren't there. Yeah, he's even on his worst albums. I mean, he's a great songwriter. Even on something like Black Acid Devil, it's still present. That it just didn't come across on Black Laden Crown. Number 9, the infamous Black Acid Devil, Danzig 5. So this was released right after the original band kind of departed, and those first 4 albums had this sort of just heavy classic rock, hard rock kind of sound, real earthy, real uh just simplistic and primal. And he just threw it all away and went with sort of an industrial sound, very Nine Inch Nails ish. He's not even hiding it on this one. And it's the biggest just mind fuck listening to this one, because after those first 4 albums, I mean, he's at his peak vocally, he's at his peak songwriting wise, and then this comes out, and his voice is completely masked by this distortion, and even level wise, it's buried underneath everything. But it's just kind of a head scratcher. However, there are some great songs on here, if you're patient. See All You Were is really good. Come to Silver is pretty great. Hand of Doom features Jerry Cantrell on guitar. These are they're very I don't know what the right word is for it. Just they're very stylized songs, and unfortunately, everything that makes Danzig great, everything that made those first albums great, has been stripped away on this one. Another song, one of the best one on here is Ashes at the very end. So it's worth revisiting if you've had this and gave up on it, or not sure which side the. Yeah. This one's definitely worth a revisit. Skip those, first couple tracks. I think, yeah, Seventh House, Black Acid Devil. Um, yeah, there's a few on there, but it is hiding some really good songs, so it's worth a revisit for sure. Number 8. This one came out in 2004, um, and just had I didn't have any sort of warning to this one. I just found it at the store right when it was released, and this is straight up a heavy metal record. Wotan's Procession is a great intro. Skin Carver, he still starts every show with that song. It's a great, just heavy song. Thousand Devils Reign, Skull Forest, When We Were Dead, great songs. Netherbound, Black Angel, White Angel is great. Just a really good album. This one does suffer from production issues. I believe when I was reading it or hearing an interview, it was he decided to use bass cabs for the guitars, or yeah, some sort of he was messing around with miking different cabs and stuff like that. So it's very muddy. Its songs are very quiet. It just kind of blends together. I mean, it almost kind of sounds like it's a jam session and you're listening from the other room. But it is a great, great album. So check that one out for sure. Number 7, Satan's Child. This is pretty much, I feel like, a forgotten album. Uh, Even if you're not a Danzig fan, if you hear Mother and just cringe from it, this is your album. This is straight up just heavy metal, and it's the first couple songs just hit you in the face. Five Finger Crawl, Belly of the Beast, 13 on here, the one he wrote for Johnny Cash, um, and it's also the one that opens up The Hangover, the movie. So check this one out. If you hate Danzig, if you're not a fan, check this one out. I compare it to it's got a little bit of a Rob Zombie kind of vibe to it. It works really well. It's around the time maybe when Alice Cooper came out with like Brutal Planet. Just a really cool era for the evolution of industrial, and coming after Black Acid Devil, this was a huge, huge step up. So yeah, Satan's Child. Number 6. This one is a return to the classic sound. Same lineup as Circle of Snakes and Black Laden Crown, but this one just it just has that classic rock feel again from those first 4 albums. Hammer of the Gods, The Revengeful, Rebel Spirits, On a Wicked Night's a great, just kind of 70s kind of rocker. Left Hand Rise Above, yeah, awesome, awesome album. Number 5, Elusiferi, Danzig 7. This one's kind of the same kind of style as Satan's Child, and coming off of the just the lackluster Black Acid Devil. This one, it's full of great stuff. Todd Youth on guitar. You got God of Light, Liber Skull, Kiss the Skull, Angel Blake, Without Light I Am. Just a great all around record. Again, if you kind of put off Danzig before, this is another really good one. It's got a nice metal sound to it. All right, number 4, going with Danzig 4. This is the final Rick Rubin produced album, final with the classic lineup. Another great output from those guys. Brand New God, Can't Speak, Going Down to Die. It's a great song. Until You Call in the Dark. Yeah, just a great finale for that lineup. Unfortunately, everyone who talks about the classic lineup, some people throw this one a lot higher. I believe he was pretty much fully producing this one at this point in time. Rick Rubin has a habit of kind of disappearing. So number 3, Danzig 3. This one's just full of great stuff. How the Gods Kill. You've got Godless, How the Gods Kill, Dirty Black Summer. Great album. All right, going on number 2, self-titled debut album with Rick Rubin. This is the one that started it off, and really they didn't. Again, this one's 88, I think, 89, and they didn't really get their big stride until early 90s. It took a little bit until that re-release of Mother, the live version off of Demon Sweat, Thrall Demon Sweat. But yeah, this album's just full of great stuff. You got Twist of Cain, Not of This World, She Rides, Mother, Possession. Just a great debut album. And the start of just this classic lineup. So way back, Danzig left the Misfits to form Samhain, and then from there was discovered by Rick Rubin, who signed him to his label under the stipulation that he should go by just his name, Danzig. So in case they ever had to scrap the band again, they wouldn't have to rebrand and all that good stuff. Glenn wanted a sort of refined classic rock style approach. He wanted to write songs that would stand the test of time. And with that, they decided to also find new members, save for Eerie Von on bass. They brought in Chuck Biscuits on drums and John Christ on guitar. Altogether, some of the most underrated band of musicians that I think there's ever been. And those first 4 albums completely prove that. I remember seeing, interviews with Glenn, and God help you if you ever brought up the Misfits or mentioned the Misfits or thought about the Misfits. His infamous response to that was, well, you should have interviewed us back when we were a band. And he was always about now being current, being with his where he was at now, and didn't ever like to kind of look back on stuff like that. And his interviews with Ricky Rackman are pretty infamous from MTV. Although those two seem to have be better friends than they let on, which is kind of funny in hindsight. There's all the viral videos of altercations between Glenn and photographers or other bands and this, that, and the other. His whole career has been a very volatile labyrinth of just unreleased music, petty squabbles, fights, breakups, and somewhere along all that, he influenced countless musicians, and including Metallica, the likes of Metallica, who um, would sport those Misfit shirts, which opened up the Misfits to a whole another generation of fans, including my own. And Hetfield even makes an uncredited appearance on the first Danzig album. There's some live guest spots back from the late 80s where they did a Metallica would do a Misfits set, and Glenn would come on, and just incredible stuff if you ever get a chance to see that on YouTube. So that leaves us with number 1. And I think most people will agree, Danzig 2, Lucifuge. Those first 4 records, you can kind of interchange those any way you want, but you'd be hard pressed to find a better record than this. I mean, Snakes of Christ is a great song. Tired of Being Alive is one of my favorites, kind of a bluesy, just bruiser of a song. Her Black Wings, just iconic. Blood and Tears. My wife and I were watching what the hell is it called? Abigail, the little kid vampire one. And there's this segment in the middle of it where she's doing a little ballet thing, this creepy little vampire girl thing, and fucking Blood and Tears starts playing on this old record player, just sort of like I'm like, hold on. As soon as you hear that opening, and it's like, get the fuck out of here. So really cool to hear that song in a modern horror movie. Pain in the World is a great Sabbathy, uh, just fucking doom song to end the album with. This album is it's a shame. It's a shame that Mother was really the only hit, because this, man, check this one out. It's just full of great shit. So that's it. Yeah. Thanks for checking this out. Hope to see you back next time. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you soon.